Hey, YouTube world. Once again, you didn't ask for this, but we're going to give it to you anyways. I'm MB Elkins.
And I'm Joe Steele, and welcome to MB&J Movie Madness.
And tonight we're going to talk about those movies that Joe and I were so excited to see in theaters that we went out and shelled out our good hard-earned money to watch what turned out to be garbage.
Bad.
So we each have 5 films, and we're going to go right into it. And let's hit on a really amazing one, huh, Joe?
I'm going to keep it fresh here, people. Suicide Squad is my first one on my list. There was so much that could have been good, but was so bad.
Well, I think they went in and did some rewrites and reshoots at the last minute.
And
that butchered David Ayer's idea.
Well, and then everyone says, like, it was because they, Jared Leto. The scenes they took out was with Jared Leto. My biggest complaint was Jared frickin' Leto. You could have cut
He tried his best, I think, for the Joker, but the Joker's not needed in the story anymore.
You could have cut him out. It was not needed at all. The movie would have been 1,000 times better and less convoluted by cutting him out.
My first one, we're going to go back to 1998, I believe.
I was 9.
Yes, I know. But I saw this in theaters. Oh, it's that blessed movie called Armageddon. It'll obliterate your senses, I think was one of the taglines. No, literally, obliterate your senses. Well, you know what? The same year, Deep Impact came out.
Yes.
I love Deep Impact. Same exact story to a T. And we're going to talk about this in another later episode.
Absolutely.
Anyways, Deep Impact was heart-wrenching, and it pulled the tears out of you. It had good special effects. So 2 months later, I'm excited. I'm going to go see Armageddon. Okay. We've got Bruce Willis here. We've got some
Steve Buscemi.
Yes.
There are lots of actors.
Oh my God. Just the absence of logic in this film. And I'm sure most of you out there have seen it. And if you love Armageddon, I'm sorry, okay? Is it just because you like that Steven Tyler song? No, that doesn't cut it, okay?
Yeah.
Everything about Armageddon does not make sense. And you could literally arrange the cuts any which way and it would still be like the same movie.
Yeah,
it's like a 2.5-hour trailer.
Yep.
Is literally what it is.
I'm
sorry,
and the
Michael
song,
Bay. No.
I don't want to close my eyes, I don't want to fall asleep because I'll miss you, has nothing to do with this. And it's funny you bring this up because Suicide Squad is another one of those tons of big named actors coming together for a movie. Armageddon's the same thing. You have Bruce Willis, Steve Buscemi, and Ben Affleck.
Liv Tyler.
Oh my gosh, you're
Billy
like...
Bob Thornton? Oh, Billy Bob Thornton telling the president. The president's like, why don't we see this comet coming? He's like, well, it's a big-ass sky, Mr. President. NASA's going to say that. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't see the meteor that's going to hit us in 5 days because it's a big-ass sky.
All right. My turn. Next one. M. Night Shyamalan, thank you for Split, but I'm going to crap on you for a second. The Happening. That movie was not happening. Oh, the pacing, the cinematography, the concept, the end. This movie was trash.
The plants and the flowers are out to get us.
I mean, but it's not like Day of the Triffids where they
actually are coming to get us.
They're an entity.
It's the plants saying, hey, we're tired of being poisoned, so we're just going to, instead of releasing air, release poison and make you kill yourself.
It was just like, hey, let's not have a good story concept for this, and let's make you think it's a disease, but it's not a disease, and we'll blame the trees in the end because we saw them sway in a shot.
I love when Mark Wahlberg and all the survivors are like, run, the wind is coming.
Oh,
they're trying to outrun the wind.
Gone with the Wind, Bullseye. All right.
My second film was a pretty famous movie by Guillermo del Toro that I loved his directing because Pan's Labyrinth and things like that. Oh, it was Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
And I grew up on monster movies.
Yeah.
This is Kaiju films and all of this stuff. Okay, if you're going to make a giant monster movie, why don't you actually properly light your monsters so we can see what's going on in the action? Why is every freaking monster scene in the rain or at nighttime and the big robots are out there in the middle of the ocean fighting them? And what's with Charlie Hunnam, I think is his name, the lead actor with his ghetto walk? It was a bad performance.
Everything was bad. And
it was a very bad
I hated the visuals and the concepts. And Guillermo del Toro's visuals are normally like his outstanding. Pan's Labyrinth are normally like, whoa.
Even his Blade 2.
Yeah.
Okay, it worked.
Not in this one. The one thing I did like most about this movie was Ron Perlman.
That's right, he is.
Because he's fun.
Okay. I'll give it one notch higher for Perlman, but that's about it.
Yeah,
What's your number 3?
Number 3, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Oh, we're chasing aliens. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, okay, I loved Indiana Jones. I grew up watching them, and I'm like, they're making a 4th one.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it's the creator of Star Wars working with Steven Spielberg. This is going to be amazing.
Yep.
No.
We got the nuclear holocaust. We got the nuclear bomb with the, in the refrigerator. Yeah. Oh, boy.
And then the
waterfall. Again.
And this was when everyone thought that Shia LaBeouf was going to do something with his career. And so they were like, he could be the next Indiana Jones, trying to do that setup, and it failed terribly.
He was swinging like a monkey from the vines.
Everything about that. The giant ants. And, like, the giant ants were cool, but then, like, the swinging from the monkey, like catching up with vehicles going, like, 80 miles per hour.
Just even the whole concept of the alien crystal skull, I think, was one
dumb.
of the weakest concepts of the three.
Well,
all the other artifacts that he's chasing after.
Supernatural.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But this, no.
It was, I'm sorry, bad.
Sorry, Spielberg.
All right.
One of your worst films.
Let's not talk about it.
My number 3, keeping with the giant monster genre, in 1998, I was super excited. I was a junior in high school. I was excited to see the American version of Godzilla.
It's Godzilla.
It was bad of me to have been excited about that.
It's
wasn't
Godzilla.
it? Yeah, Matthew Broderick and Hank Azaria, Jean Reno. What a cocktail of bad and sad. That was not Godzilla. That was just an oversized T-Rex running around the city, once again in very dark lit scenes, hiding behind skyscrapers, laying its little dinosaur eggs. No.
Yeah, well, and seeing the newest Godzilla movie shows you which is what's done right. In this one, it's so much they're trying to make him a main character, but then you don't care. And then they're like, well, let's give these let's now create Godzilla babies. That's why this is all going on. And
that's the whole third act, and I don't even care about. I don't care about any of the characters.
No.
I don't care about what's going on here. It wasn't Godzilla. He looked completely different. It was bad of them to have changed his shape. You know?
Oh, yeah. Ultimately, it was one of those movies you were waiting for Broderick just to be like, hey, this is why I can't go to school. A giant alien came in and destroyed New York City.
It would have been better if he was playing Ferris Bueller in the movie. I would have found it a lot more serious and a lot more entertaining.
Yeah. All right, next one on my list. Okay, I'm excited for the newest one. But let's talk about the third one. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
World's
God.
End. Now, this is the first movie I saw with my wife. This is the first movie we went to the theaters, and she was on a Pirates of the Caribbean high. Everyone was on a Pirates of the Caribbean high. I would have divorced you if
this was the first movie.
No. She wanted to go, and I was going with her. And I would have divorced her. Well, after the second Pirates of the Caribbean, it was such an amazing movie.
Yeah, I like part 2 with the Kraken.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. And it ends. You're like, how are they going to tie it together? They're not. Yeah. And they're going to do a terrible job tying it together.
I hated that they just got rid of the Kraken. It's just now suddenly dead.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like that.
Well, and what I hated most was like, hey, yeah, it's already got a lot of character and it's convoluted. Let's add 3 more characters and convolute it even more.
And then Calypso woman turns into like a giant 50-foot
The fact that she blows up and turns into crabs
is bad.
Is a giant pirate STD joke.
It is.
It is.
She's got a disease.
It's bad.
Yeah, and then Davy Jones was kind of just being like that little British guy's little biatch.
Yeah, no, I just no.
I don't think so.
No.
No, good. My favorite slasher movie growing up of all the 70s and 80s serial killer movies was the original 1974 Black Christmas. Watch that movie. It's very moody. It's very atmospheric. Very light on blood, but you don't need the blood. Nope. The kills are off screen, but it works and it's scary.
Very good.
So in 2006, when the remake was coming out, oh my God, I was excited. Oh, this is going to be scary. This is going to be intense.
He was excited.
Oh, I wanted to scream at the theater of just what a crap fest that the writer and the director was trying to feed us. Oh, instead of removing all sense of dread and suspense, let's just have 13 or 14 kills. A bunch of bimbos in a house on Christmas Eve, and they'll all just get killed off by an evil brother and sister.
Well, then it even took away from the classic style of Black Christmas. It took away from the not seeing it on the camera and keeping you in suspense. It was just a blood fest of what am I watching?
And you never know what's going on. Who is the killer in the old one? And they leave it still a mystery that the killer is still up there in the attic. It's not supposed to mean, it's not supposed to be meant who is the killer. Billy is just up there somewhere. But we have to have this whole damn backstory now about Billy and Agnes in the old one, and I absolutely hated it. What's the last one? Bad.
Transitioning from horror, going into comedy, Dumb and Dumber was my ode when I was a kid. I loved it. The jokes.
Back in 96.
Oh my gosh, clever. Okay, so let's fast forward with Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels both having successful careers, and they decided to do Dumb and Dumber 2.
It could have worked.
Oh, it was bad. Oh my gosh. I was just kind of like, what are you doing? No, there were a couple really good jokes.
I do remember.
There were a couple moments I laughed, but there were so many jokes that failed, and it was so awkward and uncomfortable to watch. I felt like I was like, hey, Jim Carrey, you know better. What are you doing? Jeff Daniels, come on, man.
You felt bad for the script writers and the director. And you're like, oh, I see what you're trying to do, but it's not working.
The whole time it was kind of like that artwork you get given by your nephew, or like, and you're like, oh, this is so good. I'm going to put this in a special place.
It's that Christmas present that you have to act like you're enjoying and really you don't.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last one is going to stick with horror again, and particularly in the slasher genre. Another famous classic. Everyone loves the original classic Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
So I bet there's a lot of people out there in
So
America
good.
when Rob Zombie was remaking Halloween, people had their doubts and people were like, oh, it could be good. He's an up-and-coming director.
Emphasis
he did
on
his music thing.
could be.
Could be. He just took a giant crap on that concept.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'll give him credit for trying to do something different because the first whole act of that movie is Michael's childhood, but we don't need to know why. We don't need all this backstory. And what's with all the white trash characters? Are we supposed to care for these people?
Nope.
No.
Nope,
It's
not
Rob
at all.
Zombie knowing himself, kind of a white trash hippie person, putting his wife and all these other white trash characters in this story, and it just feels sleazy, it feels dirty, it feels completely unclean, and the original Halloween felt like home. It felt like it was a quiet little suburban street that you could have grew up on.
Absolutely.
And there's this shapeless monster hiding in the bushes that's attacking this night, chasing these three girls around.
It was way smarter in the
in
filming.
the simplicity of it.
Absolutely. You didn't need all this extra crap. I'm sorry, Rob
And
Zombie.
now
That's
he's just
crap.
Michael. Yeah, I'm sorry, you butchered this movie. There's 1,000 different reasons, but we're not going to make this video 30 minutes long. And that was one of the worst experiences of me going to the theater, seeing Rob Zombie's Halloween.
I'm sorry. I really am.
I'm
I'm
sorry,
genuinely sorry. That's why this list is over.
Let's just be sorry with each other and share a sandwich.
No. I'm going to. Hey, if you liked what you're hearing, you should subscribe. Go ahead and hit the button. It should say Dreambound Productions right over here. And if you want to, we'll have a link to another video over here. Go ahead and click on if you want to hear more about what we're talking about. And we're gonna be working on some more stuff. So keep tuning in the channel.
You're gonna work on stuff. I'm gonna eat.
I'll take a bite.
No, it's fine.
All right.